Hey everybody, Pinstripe here. Welcome back to some more IL-2, 1946 once more. We are here tonight in the Spitfire LF. This is the Mark 8. We have the 4 303s and two 20mm machine gun cannons, the big old beauties, as right now we are over Darwin looking to defend this coastline, as right now there are incoming Japanese bombers and fighters, so we must intercept. I believe it was February of 1942 that the Japanese were commencing raids over Australia, and Darwin was indeed one of the main targets given the oil supply. I think they also had like a B-24 station there as well, but as you would have seen, we have Ki-48s, Ki-46s, and the usual Zero escorts as well. But you've got to kind of commend the Japanese to some regard in their discipline when it comes to bombers of all shapes and sizes, because these lilies, these Ki-48s, man, they stay in formation regardless of what's happening. It's only as the planes start going down that they end up breaking off, but the rest of them continue because, like I say, they're going to be going for the fuel supply on the ground. But I've got my dude dead in my sights putting those cannons to work, and it's only as we then get in close that I just about managed to get the shots off, but almost slamming into the back of that light bomber, something you don't quite want to do on that first pass. So swinging back around underneath the, I think the diners here, they're going to be cutting off, but Zero is coming straight for me, and we just about clip his right wing there, and he is sent just flying to the ocean floor, because, well, when you've only got one wing, there's no way to fly anymore. But that's literally two aircraft taken care of in the space of barely 30 seconds, so pretty frantic to start with, but a good start nonetheless. So this is maybe the point where I get a little bit greedy, a little bit overcompensating in my victories. You can see the energy states are pretty good. I'm pushing close to 500 kilometers an hour, but enemies are dead close. I'm trying to help out my wingman over here, who is looking to distract him. Shots off are very inaccurate, and it's only as I am sort of getting used to track IR here, just having the freedom to look around. You can still get that tunnel vision, of course, when you are going for targets, and it's only when you see those bullets flying by that you realize that maybe it's time to get out of here, or at least to reposition. So I fire off a couple more like screw you shots, but the general feel here is that there is someone roughly on my tail, and it's only as we look up here that there is a Zero roughly where you don't want him to be. So we're out of here. As is every dogfight, picking your battles is absolutely key, and knowing the strengths of your aircraft is always going to be just a really bit of helpful knowledge. And in that last fight, I knew that I could always outdive the Zero, so if I wanted to get away, then I was perfectly fine. But when I'm trying to do some weird ass deflection shot while draining all my energy, it doesn't put myself in the best state. So when you can sense that you aren't in the best energy state, or that there are enemies close, that's when you need to kind of go somewhere else, reevaluate, climb for a bit, gain some altitude, and rethink your next plan of attack. Because as I'm coming back towards the mainland, you can see that the rest of the lilies here are making their way back to base. The rest of the squadron is currently on them, and we're going to follow suit and try and get on the sixes of these light bombers and take them down, because they've got a long way to go back to base, but for us we can just swarm them with the rest of our ammunition and hopefully get some more kills on the board. So all I need to do here is just swing myself around, get on his six, and I don't have to worry too much really about the rest of the fighter escorts, because we've pretty much taken care of them. You can see that there isn't really any other enemies around me. If there were, I would be checking 6 right now, but I'm comfortable. So just swarming this guy, almost slamming into the back of him once again. Now, if I recall, the Lilies were armed with 3 303 machine guns located in different parts of the aircraft, but the only one that's really going to trouble us from our location, bearing in mind that we're on dead 6 right now, is the rear gunner. But if I can stay roughly in line with the tail, then I shouldn't have any issues in dodging his fire. But you can see that this bomber is attempting to escape through a nearby cloud. So I'm just going to test a few shots on him just to get my bearings, but this is where you then need to switch to your instrument panels in order to fly effectively. It's not that thick, but when the entire screen is covered in white, I am normally kind of dead center on my instrument panel, ensuring that I'm flying level, because it's very easy to tip over one way or the other in terms of wings going left or right when you can't see which way is up. But we make it through and continue the chase, dead on his 6 once more, and it's only going to take a few short bursts. You can see that left engine already gone, that right engine is very quick to follow, and the rest of the plane soon, as you can see, just plummeting to the earth, and that, I believe, is our 4th kill of the day. So with the enemy threat extinguished, the only thing left to do now is to land back at base. The rest of the light bombers that did make it out are obviously on their way back to their base. Didn't come up against any Ki-46s, unfortunately, because those diners, man, they can be quite a fun opponent to face up against, especially in the likes of a Spitfire. I'm also unsure as to whether the enemy were successful in their ground attack mission, because they were going for the oil fields, which are located near the city of Darwin itself rather than by the base. But we can't really see any smoke trails or anything coming from that area, so I'm assuming they were unsuccessful. But all we need to do now is land safely. You saw there I was bringing the flaps down to landing, so we're just gliding this baby in, making sure that the nose stays up. We don't want to go fully down to idle on the power. But we are slowly approaching 200 kilometers an hour, which is maybe a touch too fast. It's ironic that I say that, because as we come in here, I'm actually going to be a little bit short to the airfield itself. And this, I don't know what it is about this map, but it's notoriously difficult to both take off and land here. There's a reason why this video started with me in the air, because every time I tried to take off, my plane, it was just not stable enough to remain smooth on takeoff. The wheels would just be bouncing around and I'd immediately nose over. I've no idea why, but you'll see just how bumpy it is. Even though we're not touching down on the runway itself, it's nice and smooth to begin with, but it just goes mental from there. And yeah, we do sustain a smidge of damage. We do nose over and hit the ground, so it is only our propellers that take that damage. But thankfully, no more comes to the plane, and we do come to a full stop. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Plenty more to come from IL-2 1946, and we do indeed get that confirmation of those 4 aerial victories. So almost an ace in a day, but I'll take it considering that's 1 fighter and 3 light bombers.